Metropolitan Windows fall sale, and you can save 30% of
evidence of the cross, like the Christian cross in ancient Hindu temples. In a corner of the main chamber, at the top of this pillar, we can see a strange figure.
Nobody sees the bird.
On its neck, it wears something strange. Yes, it is a cross. I'm trying to show you as much as possible, but we can only see so much because of the darkness and the height. Is it wearing a sun temple of modern day Christians? Is this evidence of Christianity in ancient times? I found this carving in the Sun Temple of Modhera in the state of Gujarat. The carvings here clearly prove that this is a Hindu temple, and archaeologists confirm that the Modhera temple was built 1,000 years ago. But when
Hey, how lucky is this guy, man? I see this guy and I always say, man, this guy is lucky, man. This guy is really blessed, man.
did Christianity reach India? According to Wikipedia, Christianity reached India as early as 52.
Now, see, it's very interesting he's talking about this because NASA just crashed an asteroid right by Thomas Didymus. Now this man's talking about St. Thomas and his trip, okay? Because I keep telling you, okay? Like I told the Mormons, okay? Like I told everybody, but everybody rejects it. Which is the Gospel of Thomas, okay? Which is Jesus' twin, okay? Which you don't know about and which you'll never understand because you don't open up your heart to it, okay? So you don't open up your heart to knowledge, you will never know knowledge, okay? Now, Thomas Didymus died right around the time that I was born. Same thing with Joseph Smith, died 2 days before Christmas. Is that a coincidence? I think not.
AD. That means Christianity has been in India for nearly 2,000 years. But this claim is also heavily disputed by many historians who say Christianity was brought into India by Europeans in the 15th century, making it only 600 years old, and this temple is much older than...
See the blue? You gotta look for the blue. See the blue? Now, my family and my ancestry goes back, through India. India is my last name, just like a Pleiadian, like a blue star, So, who holds the 7 blue stars in his right hand, okay?
600 years. But I was still not satisfied that this is a cross. So I went to the museum in the Modhera temple complex trying to find more evidence. And luckily, I found exactly that. Now, you can clearly see that it looks very much like a cross, like how Christians wear the cross in their necks today. This is a very rare find. See what it says. This figure is called Kichak, and this figure was carved in the 11th century, so it is 1,000 years old. It was actually a part of the Modhera temple. The statue was placed on another pillar in the dark chamber.
Do you see the cross right there? You see, everyone thinks they're God, but they don't realize how God really works, okay? Because everyone's too busy thinking that they're God and they can manifest anything they want. Well, let me ask you something. If you're God, okay? If you're God, why don't you manifest $1 million for every single sick and starving person out here in the world? So that's what I gotta say. That's my rebuke to those that say that they're God. I don't ever get proud like that. When I do, I gotta catch myself and realize, hey, I don't have, some of the powers that God may have, okay? So, you see the cross right there. Even though you could dispute it, this and that, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't matter. God always reveals himself.
And it got broken a little, so they moved it to the museum. Of course, some of you may have a gut reaction to dismiss this evidence as fake. or some will claim that these crosses were carved much later by Christians to foist their religion on Hinduism as a means of propaganda. But if Christians did this just for propaganda, they would have placed these figures in a bright, prominent place where everybody would look. Why would they carve them in a dark, remote corner at a height?
Listen, I'll tell you again. Do you see the cross? Let's go back, okay?
Where nobody would look. Bright, prominent place where everybody would look. Why would they carve them in
Ready,
a dark,
set,
remote
go. See the cross on your left-hand side? You can't hide, trust me.
at a height where nobody would look? Understanding and decoding evidences like this is very hard, so most people will jump to simple conclusions based on their bias. But what if this sun temple at Modhera was compromised somehow and these statues were only a few centuries old? Do we see the
Yeah, the truth is, Krishna is the same as Jesus, okay? We know this, and the Karist, like my family, we are Karistas, okay? And it comes from the word crystal, Karist, okay? Meaning in Egypt for somebody who was divine, like Osiris, Horus, Eunice.
cross in any other Hindu temple? I found another carving in the ancient Shikanadar temple, which is 1,200 miles away from the Modhera Sun Temple.
Now look, let's see what the name is on this temple for a
In
second.
the ancient Shikanadar temple,
You
which
hear what he
is
just said? Shikana, okay?
1,200 miles away,
You hear what he said? Shikana, okay? Shekinah, do you understand how we're all one and we were all one and we just lost touch with our memory and things like that? We were cut from our oneness and unity. The problem is people got to start living as one and helping each other out. And, we're not doing that yet. And I don't care what any of you say, whatever path you choose, the world is still going to be cold because there's still unnatural balance in this world. I'm not perfect. I'm not saying anything. But you see how this is mixed up. Shekinah. Or he's going to say Shekinah. Okay? So, and we know that the Shekinah glory of God is
from the
the light of
Modhera
God.
Sun
It's like
Temple.
the zenith.
Is this a cross?
See, it's not. See, the cross is more ancient than Christianity. The cross goes back 4,200 years before Christ. Okay, but most people don't know. As far as the Anunnaki go, Christ was an Anunnaki hybrid. I'm not telling you this because, I'm making it up. I'm telling you this because I know it like I know myself. The cross represents the four corners of the earth, the four worlds, the four seasons, the four angels, the four brothers, the four directions. You could just go on and on. The four rivers that lead to Edom, the four, yeah, it's just, 4 is a very special number. Jesus being the 4, the suffering servant, the servant lamp, okay, like the Shekinah.
Obviously, there's a raised rectangle or square, but in the middle, we can see that it is clearly a cross, very similar to the Christian cross. What?
So I'm going to let you guys watch the rest of it if you want to go to his channel. This guy's really good. I give him props. I give him credit. And, I just wish I could live the life he lives, man, because he's really blessed, man. And I pray one day God blesses all of us the same way.